Russia has once again struck at the very heart of Ukraine's defense industry. This time, the target was not an ordinary weapons depot, nor a frontline outpost. The target was a legendary factory, a facility whose name has long echoed through the history of missile power in Eastern Europe, the Pavlograd chemical plant. But why this target? Why Pavlograd? Is it simply about destroying Ukraine's ability to produce missiles, or is Moscow sending a much larger message, one aimed directly at NATO? The Pavlograd chemical plant, or PCP, has been standing since the Soviet era. During the Cold War, this facility played a critical role in producing solid rocket fuel for intercontinental ballistic missiles. In many ways, part of the Soviet nuclear arsenal was born here, but after the collapse of the USSR, the plant nearly died. The machines went silent, thousands of workers left, and Pavlograd became nothing more than a monument to a fading empire. Then came 2014, and the Donbass conflict. Kyiv realized it could no longer rely solely on old stockpiles or foreign deliveries. So, Pavlograd was brought back to life. From that moment, the plant once again became the center of Ukraine's strategic ambitions. It repaired old SS-24 Scalpel missiles, developed the new Hrym-2, also known as Grom-2, and supplied key components for military drones. Pavlograd was no longer just a factory. It became a symbol of Ukraine's determination to stand on equal ground with the world's advanced defense powers. On paper, Pavlograd is Ukrainian. But is it really independent, or has it already been infiltrated, supplied, and controlled by foreign powers? Electronics for guidance systems, composite materials, even funding for certain projects. Many of these, according to multiple reports, came from abroad. Some missile projects were financed by partners in the Middle East, but with Western oversight. And year by year, Ukraine's defense production has been reshaped to match NATO standards. Does that make Pavlograd a NATO factory? Officially, no. But from Moscow's perspective, it is an industry ridden by NATO influence. And so, when Russian missiles rain down on Pavlograd, the Kremlin claims it is not merely striking Ukraine. It is striking NATO's grip on Ukraine's defense industry. That night, the air raid sirens screamed across Ukraine once again. Russia launched a massive coordinated operation. From the skies, two 95MS and two 160 strategic bombers fired Kh-101 cruise missiles. From the ground, Iskander-M and Iskander-K ballistic missiles were unleashed, just as in 2024, when 5 Iskanders struck Pavlograd at once. From the sea, Kalibr missiles roared in, and overhead, more than 100 Garand-2 drones swarmed toward the Dnipropetrovsk region. Picture this, only 7 strategic bombers were deployed, 5 Tu-95s and 2 Tu-160. Yet with the combination of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones, the outcome was devastating. Was this just another routine strike, or was it a deliberate choice? A clear signal that Russia is now focusing on targets with far greater strategic value. This strike did not simply destroy buildings. It struck at the core of Ukraine's defense industry. Domestic missile production was disrupted almost instantly. Without Pavlograd, solid rocket fuel becomes difficult to produce. Missile components cannot be assembled at full capacity, and Ukraine's dream of military independence crumbles a little further. So, what does this mean for Kyiv? The answer is painful. It means deeper reliance on NATO weapons, ATACMS, Storm Shadow, Scalp-EG, Every time a Ukrainian plant is knocked out, the door to dependence opens even wider. Is this by design? Does NATO prefer Ukraine to remain dependent, unable to stand alone, so it will always require Western supply lines? These are the uncomfortable questions now rising from the ruins of Pavlograd. And, as always, civilians paid the highest price. Explosions rocked nearby towns, killing dozens, including children, and injuring hundreds more. Homes collapsed. Schools and public buildings lay in ruins. Tens of thousands lost power, water, and access to basic services. Was this purely a military operation? Or was Russia also sending a brutal reminder? Ukraine's defense industry is inseparable from the lives of its people. Whatever the intention, the suffering on the ground is undeniable. And it is growing. Behind the smoke and rubble, there is another danger, one that rarely makes the headlines: the environment. Pavlograd stores dangerous chemicals for rocket fuel. When the facility is struck, the risk of contamination spreads across soil, water, and air. Fields can be poisoned. Clean water supplies can vanish. Toxic chemicals can linger for decades. Is Ukraine prepared to fight a war on two fronts, one against missiles and another against its own poisoned environment? Or will this become a time bomb whose impact lasts far longer than the war itself? The strike on the Pavlograd chemical plant proves one thing: this conflict is far more complex than it appears on the surface. It is not only about missiles slamming into buildings or drones buzzing across the night sky. It is about control over Ukraine's future. So the questions remain. Does the destruction of Pavlograd cripple Ukraine's defense for good, or does it bind the country even tighter to NATO? Will Kyiv ever achieve military independence, or has that dream already slipped away? And most of all, was this just another Russian strike, or the opening act of a new chapter where defense industries themselves become the true battlefield? There are no easy answers, but one thing is certain: the fate of Pavlograd may become the mirror, reflecting the future course of this war.